morning and afternoon. Will you please rise as we lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Century Village residents and guests. You may be seated. Thank you. I know most of you in the room. My name is Doug McGlynn, the Captain with Fire Rescue, and we're very pleased for your hospitality and your generosity having us here again for another great luncheon. So thank you very much. On behalf of all the professional firefighters and paramedics of Palm Beach County, we'd like to thank the folks at Cobrewer, Marvin Manning, Mike Limongelli, and Stanley Siegel for the countless efforts of keeping you folks informed and putting these great events together. So we're going to turn it over, and let's do a quick applause for those guys. We have some distinguished guests and speakers for you today, so we're going to turn the mic over to our beloved favorite house rep, Irv Slosberg.
Good morning, Century Village, Whisper Walk, and surrounding areas. How you doing today? All right, we're glad we could be with you. Mike, Stanley, Marvin, stand up. Where are you guys? You guys here? Yeah, 2/3 of the team are here. Hey, thanks for putting on this event. Firefighters, you know, like I always say, I don't know if everybody knows this, but I lost a daughter in a car crash, and I would have lost 2 daughters if it wasn't for our great firefighters of Palm Beach County, Boca Raton, the whole community. They got my daughter Emily to the hospital in 19 minutes, and she was in surgery. And so guys, you know, like I never forget you, and we never forget you. Thanks for the work that you do, because yours is not an ordinary job. When you go to work, you don't know if you're coming home the next day. So thank you guys. Howard Weiss, one of the best attorneys in Boca Raton. And of course my assistant Lawrence. Victoria, stand up. Unfortunately, we got redistricted, and our office is moving over to the Kings Point area. But you know what? You're always in my heart, because I would have never won any election without the people of Century Village, Whisper Walk, and surrounding communities. And I remember it every day. And also my great assistant, Irma Fleischman, 93 years old, working for the state of Florida for how many years? Stand up, Irma.
Stand up.
Don't say I don't hire senior citizens. Irma's 93, and Lawrence is how old? 81. So anyway, 81. He's a young kid. But anyways, listen, you know, like I loved my job. I loved working for you. And like I want to make sure that you guys are in the right hands when I'm not here and I'm over in Delray, but I'll never be too far from you guys. But like I want to make sure, and I say this from the bottom of my heart, and I'm just not talking just because of the fact that Senator Abruzzo wanted me here and said, hey, Irv, say a few good words, because that's not how it is at all. Senator Abruzzo has done a lot in the state of Florida. He's passed lots of legislation, and you know what, it would take me too much time to explain the legislation, and a lot of legislation was about senior citizens. And he'll explain a little bit about what he did for senior citizens. And I understand how important it is to have a great senator who's going to be attentive to your needs, who you're going to be able to pick up the phone and say, hey Joe, I have a problem. And I am confident that Joe is going to pick up that phone and say, what's your problem? How can I help you? That's just the kind of guy Joseph Abruzzo is. He's a guy who was in the military, a guy who did a lot for his community, and I'm confident that he is going to do a lot for the people of Century Village, Whisper Walk, and the surrounding areas, and whoever else is here. He is going to do a lot for you. Whether you're a Democrat, whether you're a Republican, whether you're an independent, whether you're a snowbird, whatever you are, Joseph Abruzzo, I am confident he's going to be on the job listening to what you want him to do, and he's going to take your needs and bring them up to Tallahassee to make Florida a better, more affordable, safer state to live in. With that, I would like to introduce my friend, the next Senator, Joseph Abruzzo.
Thank you, Irv. You know, I've been watching Irv serve for many, many years. And before I get into my spiel about who I am and why I'm running, I just have to say, Irv, straight to you, I learned about how to handle my constituents from you. When I got elected to the State House, I watched how you, over all these years, would reach out. It didn't matter if somebody needed batteries in a remote control, or whatever whatever it was, you were there for your constituents, and I tried to model you and hopefully lived up to it in the district that I represent. And that's what I want to bring right back to right here in Century Village. My name is Joseph Abruzzo. I currently represent House District 85, which is in the Wellington Royal Palm area. And during redistricting, a new state Senate seat was created. That state Senate seat is pretty much the entire county west of the Turnpike. Hence, I was fortunate enough to get Century Village. Now, oh please, thank you. I have to thank, first of all, the firefighters today for hosting this event. Not only AJ, Fred, not only do I have to thank them for hosting the event, but our first responders, our public servants, they keep us safe. They're the ones when trouble really happens that are first on the job to get here and save us. So thank you for all you do and for keeping Palm Beach County safe. I grew up in the Chicago area. I was raised in a mixed family, both Jewish and Italian. So I would always say I had the best of both worlds. My one grandma made the best tomato soup and tomato sauce you could ever wish for. My other grandma made the best matzo ball soup. So in that, I moved to Boca Raton when I was 18 years old and attended Lynn University, became student body president at Lynn, and really decided to dedicate my life to public service. Joined the military, the U.S. Coast Guard, right out of college, served some time in Governor Crist's hometown in St. Petersburg, Florida. Always wanted to run for office. So we ran in 2008 and won a House seat. In the Florida House, I spent a lot of time focusing on senior issues. I was raised by my grandparents and my mother. And being raised by your grandparents, I learned at a very young age how much Social Security means to you, how much health care means to you, how much the donut hole affected you. When I was 18 at Lynn, one of the very first things I did was join the DEC Legislative Committee over at Congressman Wexler's office, and I was working on issues, writing letters to the Congress about Social Security and the donut hole and the rise of prescription drug costs. And they would say, why do you care at 18 years old about the rise of prescription drug costs? And I would say, you know, when you're raised by your grandparents and you spend your time around seniors your whole life, you see the effects of what it means to you. So once elected, I truly wanted to protect you. One of the laws I was fortunate enough to pass is the Florida Silver Alert. That's when a senior goes missing and you see those alerts go out on the highway. That was the law I was fortunate enough to write and pass. So I feel that I did a small part of helping protect seniors all around the state, but specifically Palm Beach County. But truly, the credit goes to Sheriff Rick Bradshaw and the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Department. Because I don't know if you're aware of this, but Sheriff Bradshaw has returned more missing seniors than any other law enforcement agency in the entire state. In the Florida House, and thank you, Irv, for that great introduction, we passed a record 20 bills into law, and much of it had to do with public safety. We passed the Coles Law for our children. That's when a child is riding horseback representing Wellington. We have a big equestrian community. Now it's mandated that they wear a helmet while they're riding. Governor Crist, thank you for signing that bill. It's terrific. Being in the military, I focused a lot on veterans. And I know there's many veterans, I'm sure, in the audience today. Thank you for your service and what you provided to our country. One of the bills I'm most proud of is when I was elected to the Florida legislature, the Republicans raided a fund that was set to give to military families when they were going through hardship situations. They could apply to this fund and give money for their home or whatever they needed. And unfortunately, the Republicans took the money out of this fund to fill budget revenue gaps. So I came back the next year and filed a bill to set in stone that a new organization would be created for military families, and the money could never be taken away. And again, Governor Crist was right there and signed that bill into law. This race is a very important race. Right now, the balance of power in Tallahassee is that the Republicans have a supermajority. In the State House, they have 81 members. We as Democrats have 39. Greatly outnumbered. In the Senate, we're one seat away from breaking that superminority position in the Senate. So if we get another seat, we can actually have checks and balances in our government. Because I don't care if you're a Republican, a Democrat, when one party has a supermajority, that's never good. There's no checks and balances, there's very little accountability, and we need to break that. So this seat is very important. It's both Senator Sachs and myself. We both need to win in about 2 weeks now, and we're going to finally have a say. Have a say in stopping bad legislation, have a say in, again, checks and balances. Now, the Republicans have gone all out to try to win these seats. Voter suppression started in the legislative session. First with the voter purge, and then I don't know if you're aware of this, that horrendous voter law that they passed is to try to stop college students from registering, minorities from registering, and then in this election, what I see is trying to stop people from voting Democratic. Both Senator Sachs and myself, and I'm sure you've all gotten mail from a group called Progressives attacking us. The Republican Party formed a group called Progressives, trying to disguise themselves as Democrats to attack you in the mailbox saying, oh, Joe Abruzzo and Senator Sachs are not good Democrats. That is a complete lie. Everything they did is not truthful. And again, it's a voter suppression tactics, but I know you're not going to stand for it. When we get to the legislature in a few weeks, things are going to change. We're going to work on senior protection. One of the biggest things we will tackle next session is our implementation of the federal health care bill. Now that's going to drive down costs for all Floridians, make sure you're protected, and in order to get that enacted, we need to make sure we elect our Democrats to office this legislative elections. Now, I have to say a few words about Governor Crist. When I got elected in 2008, many years before Governor Crist became an independent, he came in the back of the chamber. In the Florida House, the Republicans sit in the front and the Democrats sit in the back. He came all in the back as a Republican governor at the time and said, guys, come here. We all huddled around him. And he said, what's going on? How can I help you? And he had an aide with him. And we said, okay, well, Governor, they're not putting this bill up. They're blocking this. And he's taking meticulous notes on everything that the Democrats are saying. He goes up to the front of the chamber and starts working our bills for us. That's the type of governor he was and is. Thank you. In Wellington, we have an office for President Obama. It's the Get Out the Vote office. It's where all our volunteers come. And the gentleman that runs that office is a former Republican, turned Democrat, and is running that office. He has done such a tremendous job of registering voters and getting out the vote of our Democratic cause. It's been unreal. And it reminds me a little bit about Governor Crist in this regard. We are the party of inclusion. We are the Big Tent party. We want good Republicans to vote Democrat, independents. We take in people because we are the party that cares about people. And that's been the governor's mantra from day one. It's all about the people, and that's why he's here today. Governor. Governor Crist has been stumping this state, whether it's for Representative Fitzgerald, for Congress, or President Obama. He's been there day one because he looks at the issues. When it came to teachers and that terrible Senate Bill 6 and cutting the teacher pay, there's only one reason why the teachers were able to survive the way that they are right now, and that's because of Governor Crist. No questions, no doubt about it. Without him, they would have been devastated. Governor, I know this isn't the time, but our party is well open to you. We want great Democrats, and hopefully after this election, I'm well aware, I believe your wife is now a Democrat. It is time for you to come on over, Governor. But before I give the mic up, I just want to say this. If I'm fortunate enough to get elected, and I know I am because I know everybody here is going to support and get to the polls and tell your friends, I'm going to fight for you like you've never seen. We have the firefighters, the teachers, the police officers, our doctors, our nurses, everybody's on board. But I need you to get to the polls. We're going to win this. We're going to take it to Tallahassee and pass good legislation and keep on fighting for you. But most of all, I'm going to follow in the footsteps of Representative Slosberg, my service to you. The way you will see me in your community, the way we will reach out, the way we will always be open to you, and the first thing we're going to do is send out information of our office and our phone number. You call me. You call me directly. I am here for you. I will always be here for you. Let's go. In a few weeks, we're going to win this. Thank you.
Wow, that's a great speech. Joe's good. I'm going to talk about him in a minute. We'll talk about Irv. Because when I served, Irv was serving. And Irv's a wonderful man. He's a dear friend. He's a mensch. He absolutely is, and he's got a great heart. And time after time, I would see him on the floor of the House making a passionate argument on behalf of you. No matter what the issue was, you were first in his heart. And he's been through some tragedy, as we all are, I think, aware. And, you know, to continue to move forward and be able to be strong and to advocate on behalf of others, even though you've gone through a very difficult time yourself and your own family, this man is a champion. He's courageous as a lion. And I'm so honored that he's here for Joe today. And I'm honored that he's my friend. God bless you. Thank you.
You know, I have to say one really important thing. Without the governor signing the legislation, you know, sometimes it was like the seatbelt bill. And that was a contentious bill that took 15 or 20 years to pass. We finally passed it in honor of my daughter. From day one, Charlie Crist was on the team on any road safety legislation and the senior citizen issues. You know, it's not just Irv, it's him. Charlie did it. Charlie was a phenomenal governor, and I just want to say that we owe you. Thank you.
Okay, so we're here about Joe.
And Irv.
And Irv, of course, and all of you, most importantly. It's really, this democracy is for you. You know, there was a, let me thank the firefighters too. Thank you so much for what you do. You put it on the line, God bless you. There was a great president once said that this government and this country is supposed to be of the people, by the people, and for the people. That was Abraham Lincoln. And he spoke those words at a time when our country was at war with itself. And, you know, sometimes I look at the current political environment and I see the degree of acrimony and bitterness, and it breaks my heart. You know, we're all Americans. And here we're all Floridians. And the reason I'm here to help these gentlemen is because they put people above partisanship. And they want to help you first. They're both good Democrats. Don't get confused, and that's good. But I've worked with them both, and I know whenever I would have to try to get something done or work across the aisle, whether it was Irv or Joe, they were there because they believed and understood that our government is of the people and by the people and for the people. And some don't get that. And so whenever a friend calls and asks if I'm willing to help or endorse or whatever, you know, it's easy when it's these guys. You know, really, it's easy because they just do the right thing. They do the right thing. And whether it's education, or our relationship, the state of Florida and the state of Israel. The first trade mission I took was to Israel when I was governor. It was very important to me. I mean, you may not know this. My wife grew up in New York. Anybody here from New York?
No!
Couple. She grew up in Roslyn on Long Island.
Yeah!
Yeah. And yesterday was her birthday. Carol, 29 again, of course. But still, that's right, still even better. But I think it's so important that a state like Florida, we're probably the most diverse state in the country. And we have all religions, we have, you know, everybody's here. We're all in this together. And Joe handles himself that way. He works together. And with others, always. Joe, who we got here? Here, I'm going to give him the mic.
We got Riley.
This is Riley.
Hello, Riley. But Joe's right. In just over 2 weeks, Riley's future is at stake. Her education, her safety. You know, they talked about, and she's going to be fine, thanks to, Joe's going to win because of you, so Riley's going to be fine. But don't take anything for granted. Don't take anything for granted. I mean, this election is so important. At the federal level, I hope you're supporting President Obama. He's done a great job. Need your help. But at the state level, we need help too. You know, we've got to continue to make sure we put people in office who understand what their job is and who the boss is. You. You know, when I first got elected to the state senate a lot of years ago from the Tampa Bay area, it was so funny to me how when people got up to Tallahassee, they started to kind of feel they were important, or that they were the boss, when it's exactly the opposite in this great country. And that's one of the things that makes America such a special, precious place. And so by helping Joe, you continue to foster that. You continue to support this great democracy that's made such a difference in all our lives. Let me tell you a story, why this is so important to me, and always has been. It's a story about a boy named Adam. Adam came to this country when he was 14 years old. And when Adam came to this country, he couldn't speak the language, he didn't really have any money, and he didn't know anybody. But he had something more powerful than those things. He had a dream. He had a dream about coming to a place called America where he had heard that if you worked hard and you lived by the rules and you did what was right, that you could do better for yourself and your family, your children, Riley. He worked hard. He shined shoes for a living. He made $5 a month shining shoes. True story, Joe. Was frugal, saved his money, eventually was able to open up a small cafe, and he was starting to live the American dream that all of us have dreamt of. Well, he also understood the importance of education, and he made sure that all 7 of his children got a good education. Just like Riley's going to get when you elect Joe to the Senate, so he can protect that education budget. Wonderful, it's great. Riley, what grade are you in?
Second.
Second, cute. What school do you go to?
Spanish River Christian School.
Spanish River Christian School. And what's your favorite subject?
Art.
Art. Great. Sweet. That's our future. Makes you feel better, doesn't it? Wonderful. Thank you, Riley. It's a very nice interview. George Bennett would be proud. Hi, George. Anyway, he had 7 children. Back to education. Wanted to made sure all 7 got a good education of those kids. And one of those children became a school teacher. Very important profession. One of those children became a pharmacist. One of those children became a doctor. The doctor is my father. Adam was my grandfather. And because of that story and what America stands for, that all of us get a shot, that we all play by the rules, that we all get a fair chance, This election is important for that reason on every level. Every level. So, was it hard for me to decide to come down here for Joe? No. See, my middle name's Joe. But he's no ordinary Joe. He's a special man, as is Irv. And those kind of people that are willing to put themselves through the meat grinder of current politics, you watch TV, see what they're doing to our friend? How despicable that is? That's the courage he's got. He doesn't care because of you. He's willing to go through it for you. He is running for you. So make sure you tell all your friends to be there for him. Whether you vote early or on election day, it's critical. And send a message to Tallahassee. It's important for Riley, for Joe, for Irv, most importantly, for you and Florida's future. God bless you and thank you for coming.
Thank you, Governor. I just want to briefly speak about education, Governor, before I give it up. You know, one of the biggest problems with our public education system is our teacher retention rate. We have one of the lowest teacher retention rates in the entire nation, meaning they don't leave to go to another school, they leave for another profession in general. So one of the very first bills I'm going to file is that Florida, by 2016, to give us time, will have to meet the national average for pay for new and experienced teachers. Now, in Riley's case, and by the way, you know, when you're in an election, especially one like this, where they're coming after you with all these lies, you know, you need a strong home life. And my best support system is truly my girlfriend Brandy, and this is her daughter Riley. So, thank you. College prepay, which Governor Crist fought so hard to get done. College prepay is when you have a young family and you can invest in your child's future in public education for state universities here in the state of Florida. The legislature last year just gutted the entire program. They made it so unaffordable for families that I'm not an investment advisor, but I think anybody common sense would tell you you'd be better off young families putting money elsewhere than in college prepay. And they did that just to get rid of the program. Now, we need to make sure that our future, our children, have that education. Because you hear the Republicans talk a lot about jobs in the economy, which is one of the most important parts of of Florida. But you're never going to grow that incredible economy unless you have that incredible education system. Companies won't want to relocate or stay in Florida if we don't have the workforce. So when I go up to Tallahassee, I really, in my mind, think of two people, what I consider the most vulnerable and where the Republicans have been attacking the most. Seniors and our children. That's primarily what I'm going up for, to fight for you. And I just have to thank Mike, Stanley, Marvin, thank you guys for help organizing this, putting it together, Howard, everybody. So thank you again. Joseph Abruzzo, State Senate 25, we're going to go win this.
So anyway, to close this off, I'm coming in, I'm walking to the temple here, and I see Joseph, and I say to Joseph, hey Joseph, where's the agenda? Who's the MC? He looks at me and he says, you're the MC, Irv. And I go, me? Yeah. So anyways, as the MC, I guess that I will close everything off, and there were two people who I forgot to thank who helped. Everybody here helped me get elected, but I had my 3 Century Village women. Irma, Pauline, and Olga. Stand up. And really, it's been, you know, great serving you. It's really been an honor and a privilege for you guys to send me to Tallahassee. I just loved my job, and I'd like to thank everybody in the community. But just remember, I'm still going to be representing you guys because I work for the state of Florida. And the average voter I used to have was 85. Well, now it's 83. So listen, I love you guys, and you know I'd like to close off by thanking Senator Abruzzo for all of his hard work. and Governor Crist for all of their hard work. And thanks to my staff, of course, Lawrence, and I'd really like to thank the people for giving me the opportunity to go to Tallahassee and represent you. Thank you very much.